Welcome to The Digital Chair by Salon Monster, the podcast for indie beauty pros and salon owners who'd rather be themselves than follow the rules. I'm your host, Liam, and this week we'll be talking with Sonya Dove about Game of Thrones hair, calling out AI, and keeping hair awards honest. I hope you enjoy it. Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm here with Sonya Dove, and I'm excited to get a chance to chat and get to know you. Do you want to just give us like 30 seconds about who you are and where you are?
Yes, so I've been in the hairdressing industry about 45 years. I've been with Wella for 42 of those years. I'm originally from England, hence
Yep.
the funny accent, and I moved to the United States in 1996.
Okay.
And I've been working with Wella, and I work with Ulta. I'm the artistic director for Intercoiffure. So I think I'm a bit of a workaholic, to say the least. And I'm speaking to you today from Mexico, which is where I reside at the moment.
Very nice. That is a lovely place to reside. Good for you. It's
Thank
probably
you.
warmer there than it is here today.
It is warmer. It is warmer.
So 42 years you said with Wella?
Yes, long, long time. I actually
Yeah.
started with them back in England. I had my own salon in Devonshire, and what
Okay.
happened is I got bored with running a salon. Now, when I say a salon, I'm talking about a two basin, two chair salon,
Yep.
not salon.
No,
Salon.
I know exactly what you mean.
And I was young and I was bored with just running the salon and doing clients. I thought, what else could I do? So I
Yeah.
started to enter hair competitions. So I won a lot of hair competitions after many, many years. It took me
Nice.
about 7 years to get my first placing in the first three. So it didn't just
Wow.
happen overnight. And I'm very stubborn by nature. I never give up on anything. I'm a Taurus. And I did all these competitions and I won a lot in 1 year by a fluke. It truly was that.
Well,
And then it
I'm
was,
sh-
well, okay, a bit
I'm
of
sure
both.
you presented some good work.
It was yes, it
Yeah.
was all right. It was good. I'm very humble about my work, and I got approached by Wella to do a class in London, the big London, because where
Mm-hmm.
I lived was in the boondocks
Yep.
compared. And I did a class for Wella in their studio, and I put everything into it. And they signed me on to do hair. I was with my husband at that time, Christopher Dove. We were called the Doves. And that was the beginning of this Weller roller coaster, a wonderful
Love
one
it.
it has been.
I love it. Um, so did you eventually move to London to work with Bella, or did you stay in Devonshire?
No, I stayed in Devonshire because we had the salon
That's
and
right.
a lot of the travel. It started off in England for
Yep.
the first 2 years, and then we got booked to do a lot of international work for Wella.
Yeah.
We were the new kids on the block, and
Yeah.
uh, we were having a wonderful time. We did Europe, Asia, Russia, so there was no need to sort of move to
Yep.
London essentially. And then eventually we got asked to do a show in the United States in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Dallas, Texas for Neil Corporation. It
Mm-hmm.
was a very big show. And we came over, we did that. And there was a host salon in Dallas that they connected us with where we could do our prepping and our model casting and everything. And we became good friends with the owners, Linda and Shelton Ogle. They had Ogle schools. They had
Mm-hmm.
5 schools in the Dallas Metroplex and then 4 hair salons called Sheltons, also in the Metroplex. And we got friends with them. And then what happened the next year, they asked us if we could come over for 2 weeks to help train and set up some education in their company. So we did that. We did it for actually 3 years. And then 1 year on the way back to the airport, Shelton and Linda asked us if we would ever think about moving to the United States. And we had our salon in Devonshire. So it's like, oh gosh, I don't know. But the opportunity was like, wow, wow,
Yeah.
pinched myself. So we sort of worked it out. We let Christopher Dove's mother run the salon, and we came to United States, and they got us a green card. So it was all done, all above board. That was in the early 90s. And then we
Yep.
eventually moved over in 1996 and waved goodbye to England, our family, our friends, but not to Wella, because
Yeah.
for Wella, it was a transition from one
Yeah.
country to another. And it's been amazing. It's been
Yeah.
fantastic, I have to say.
It's so funny thinking back to Wella being the new kid on the block. That feels like a long time ago to me. It's been such I mean, it's the line I used from apprenticeship on. In
Oh,
fact, if I remember, I'm trying to remember what was the semi-permanent line called that got discontinued in maybe the early 2000s. Do you remember?
um,
They had my
wasn't Colour Touch. Yeah, Midway
no, it was
Couture,
before Color Touch. It was
Midway.
no, and maybe it was different. It could have been named something different where I
Uh,
am in Canada as well. I just remember it being the greatest toner line that I had ever used. Now, I might be putting it on a pedestal compared to Color Touch just because I haven't had access to it
yes,
in
yeah,
25 years.
yeah.
But it
We-
had a 1AB as well, an actual black, whereas after that 2 tended to be the darkest color you could get your hands
Yes,
on.
yes.
But it
Oh,
was like a goth black.
oh,
Why am I
it wasn't
forgetting?
the Inspire line.
I
Inspire. It was
don't
made of
think
granules.
so.
No. Oh gosh, now you got
And
me
and
thinking.
none of it's even important. It was just you and I are sitting here talking, and I
About
suddenly
the old
um
Weller days.
right.
Yes. No, it's a fantastic brand. And to be honest with you, Liam, is I've had opportunities because I'm the longest person that's ever been with Weller for one brand. I've only ever been with one brand. And to me, the grass isn't greener because the same challenges a manufacturer has for a person, another
Yep.
manufacturer is going to have the same challenges.
Oh yeah.
So for me, the grass is not greener.
Hmm.
I've supported them throughout my career. When they've been down, I've helped bring them up, and vice versa. I mean, goodness gracious me, they put me on a pedestal and allowed me to do things that my brain couldn't even dream about.
Yeah.
So it's like a tango. It takes two.
I
It
love
definitely
it.
takes two.
Well, and I mean, it's the only way this type of education happened
Yes.
before sort of the digital switch. I mean, really, you got brand education. I mean, I'm in Vancouver, Canada, and
Ah,
we would at our hair show would get canceled every other year because it wasn't busy enough, and
yeah.
so you would have to leave the city or the country to get any real education to speak
Yeah.
of, other than every now and then you lucked out with brand education, and I loved that.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah, you're right. Education's really changed because I'm a face-to-face educator.
Hmm.
So when the social media education came in, I was like, oh gosh, this is difficult for me because it's unusual. And then COVID hit, and I didn't have any choice because
Yeah.
Wella still wanted me to educate, but it was me and the laptop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? But it's amazing how you get put in a situation and then you just make the most of it and it works. So now I do education face to face. I do classes.
Yep.
I mentor a lot. I love
That's
mentoring.
me
Men-
too.
mentorship for me is everything. And I do shows. So it could be digital, it could be face to face or at a hair show. So now I think the hairdressers are really, really lucky because
Mm,
back in our
yes.
day,
Yes.
there was only one way,
Yeah.
apprenticeships. And the first few years of when you got your education certificate in England, it's called the City and Guilds.
Hmm.
But in the United States, once you've got your certificate, you can't just start hair then. It's a couple of years of sweeping, cleaning, and making
Yep.
coffee. And it's
Yeah.
really that real.
Yeah.
It's
That
funny.
was
I get asked, sorry to
no,
cut you off. I
no.
get asked a lot, how can I be a Sonya Dove? And I said, well, you need a lot of time a lot of patience and hard work. And I get asked, well, how much time? I said it took me at least 15 years to start getting a slight foothold into being known. They said,
Yeah.
15 years? I said, yeah, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. Well, especially pre-social media, there was no way. You had to be on a platform at hair shows, numerous hair shows, over and over and over and over again. I mean, the only digital education that existed, even in the late '90s, was product knowledge VHSs and then eventually DVDs. That's the only thing you could get that wasn't a person.
Yeah.
The switch from in person. I mean, you still do in person,
Yes.
but to at least some digital or all digital at the beginning of COVID. Did you find that transition difficult? Because sometimes what I find is if you don't have that, at least for those of us in the hair industry, we're used to that immediate feedback from the person that's in front of us. And everything I do is based off of you. It's that tennis thing. It's like
Yep.
serve the ball to me, and then I know what to do based on that. Did you find that a difficult transition to begin with?
I did because the reason I got into the industry is not because of hair. It's actually, I knew I wanted to work with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was after any parameter that gave me people, but never a computer. I knew
Mm-hmm.
that straight
Yep.
away. I'm the opposite.
Yep.
So for when COVID hit and I started to do education for a lot of people and it was just a flat screen, I tried to get feedback and I'm like, do they like what I'm showing them? Do they not? Are they happy with what I'm doing? Are they not happy? So it's very flat to me. But that was very, very hard because there was a lot of self-doubt
Yeah.
because of the non-existing feedback,
Yes.
especially when you've got over 200 to 300 people when you're doing a class for. So that was hard. But then I started to realize, Sonia, it's not about you. It's not what you're feeling. It's about the audience. And
Mm-hmm.
I would write an email after to check with the
Yep.
company, and it was all fine. But I find it sterile. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it is
yes, because
by nature.
yeah, by nature, and also it's like when you're talking, I get a sense of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't talk to 200 or 300 people and get a feeling about them
Right.
on the computer. So yeah, it was tough, and I have to say, still out of the two, nothing beats touching,
No.
feeling someone else.
Even when you're in front of a crowd, it's not like you're not always getting feedback from everyone, but there's usually those two or three people sort of near you that are truly engaged that you can look at, that are nodding and looking back and giving you feedback. And then, of course, people can put their hand up, which is a little different digitally than it was in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're right. You're right. I think there was a lot to COVID. There was a lot of learnings. There was for me. There really was
for
to sort
everyone.
of make that switch. Yeah, to everybody.
I think it's sped up certain processes that were happening, but were going to take 10, 15, 20 years to sort of slowly transform into something. And then they were overnight. Everybody was home for 3 months,
Yeah.
and suddenly a bunch of hairdressers were sitting in bedrooms trying to figure out how to work Zoom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
still are, myself
Oh,
included.
yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I do demos with people on the regular. I've already done one today, and it's not our specialty. It's
No,
not.
it's not
It's
because
not
the
what we're
create.
built for.
Yeah, the creative person, that's more of a digital, it's more of a techie thing.
Hmm.
That's, I mean, you know how many emails I've written to you panicking and I hope I'm going to be okay. So, yes, I fall into that category for
You
sure.
wrote just the right amount of emails. It was perfect. You talked about mentoring.
Yes.
Um, if you were talking to young you getting into the hair industry, and it's very different, I think, than when both you or I got into the industry. I mean, I did an apprenticeship, and I was lucky enough to be in a salon filled with talented people.
Oh,
I learned from all the people around me. There was no external mentorships. I didn't have access to other people And even at that point, it wasn't as the industry wasn't as it was still a little on the competitive side. Like you weren't going and sharing with the competitor in the
Oh,
next
yes.
block over. You were They were rivals, so you weren't asking them to teach you things. That's shifted a lot since, which is great.
Yes.
So somebody's new, they're getting into the industry. They're either going to hair school or if they're lucky and they found an apprenticeship. What would you tell them? What would you tell them? Like if they were interested in mentorship, what would you tell them to do?
I would tell them to, first of all, there's a few things before that is
Yep.
they, when you get into the hair industry, a lot of people, they don't know if they want to work in fashion and do more editorial. Do they want to own a salon? Do they want to work in the salon behind the chair for someone? Do they want to be in the movie industry? There's so much celebrities that in the bucket of hair, there's like 10 buckets.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I would advise them to try and focus a bit on what you would love. But the only way you know what you would like to do is by trying each one of those things that you desire. Just try them. Like an example, I've always wanted to do hair for the movies. So I got this opportunity by a fluke to do the hair for Game of Thrones.
Amazing.
Yeah, and also a couple of Catching Fire and the Hunger Games and things like that. I know I was very, very lucky. But I realized after doing this little stint that it wasn't for me. It's actually not what it seems.
It's very different.
It's very different. It's very labor intensive. So you have to be that type of hairdresser. So try and figure out first what genre or area you want to go in. If you're good at business, you're really cut out to be a salon owner. I'm not good at business, so I'm not cut out to be a salon owner. I prefer to work in a salon. And then really don't write down all your dreams or all what you would love to do. And then slowly, step by step, go forward through finding out things. So mentorship, look into someone that does what you're after doing. Like if you want to be a great salon owner, start to get a group of friends that are salon owners because you're going to learn from them. So whatever genre it is, immerse yourself, write to people. Don't be afraid to sort of open your mouth and say, my dream is to have a salon one day. Would you give me some advice or would you mentor me? Don't be afraid to say, because I think a lot of people are afraid to express their own internal outwards to people. But if you
Yeah.
don't say to someone, you're going to be going round yourself in circles.
Yeah.
Whereas you might be talking to someone that knows someone that can help you along the way.
Yeah.
So speak a lot, work out what area you want to be in. And if you don't know what area you want to be in, that's just 100% perfect. Because if you
Yeah.
don't know, then you just do one little thing at a time and you'll find out which you like to do.
Yeah.
And if you want to educate and you want to be late, say for instance, be a Sonya Dove, you need to get all your skill set worked out really well. And, make sure you're good at the things that you want to do. Back in our day, Liam, we had
Mm-hmm.
to be good at everything. It
Yeah.
was cut, color, and style. Lo and behold, you can now pick and choose. You can be a colorist or you can be a
Yeah.
cutter. That never existed.
I
So it's
never met a niche hairstylist. I met some people that were so good at the one thing that they tended to, I remember, I remember watching somebody do a full head of bleach cap highlights in like 8 or 9 minutes. You're like, what do you mean? Like they could just,
no.
I mean, I swear if I did that, I would have stabbed the person in the head like 300 times and
I'd
been in
have
the
bleeding.
hospital. No, there's just no. I don't know where the hair was coming from. I
No.
found highlights so liberating when they came in with foils,
Yeah.
but but they still weren't niching. You could still get a perm and those highlights and a haircut and a blow dry and a style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It. Yeah, it's really changed that you can do that, and actually, as well, there in the world there's more cutters than there are more colorists, just
Definitely.
globally, and I totally get it because color is not easy, and
Yeah.
it's getting harder and harder and harder, and that's why if you do want to go the color route, you can be the king or queen of the color world
Yeah.
easily because it's a smaller niche, because once you tackle it and you get to know a brand of color really, really well, like I know Wella upside down and inside out, you can really do well with it, really well. But it is a little bit more, it's more difficult than cutting,
Yeah.
that's for sure, because of people's medication, minerals and deposits in the water. The water in the world is just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yes.
So things are getting harder.
Yeah.
So,
I also think sometimes with color, there are certain types of brains that just can learn that kind of science better, or it depends on how it was taught. I really struggled with color formula at the beginning. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by incredibly gifted people, but I find sometimes the really gifted people, a bunch of it's intuitive, so they
right.
don't actually realize certain things are steps and they skip telling you because they just assume. And I've been through so many issues where I'm like, I'm doing what you said, I'm missing something. And I found that with color theory. Whereas I met another person that came across a colorist that taught them, like through math, how to understand, like in a real this plus this equals this.
Yeah.
And that would have worked better for my brain. But yeah, I
You,
loved being around talented people, but it was harder in a way.
yes. Yeah. And I love what you said. You absolutely said such a valid point because when someone's highly creative, they just do what they do. And
Yes.
sometimes when you come to teach, it's hard for them to teach. I went to a cutting class once and it was a cutting class based on the feel of the hair. So they would hold the hair and where it felt thicker or heavier, they would cut a bit here and then they'd feel with the hands. You can't teach feeling.
No.
You can't.
It doesn't even feel the same to the other person.
Oh,
That's
no.
not no, that's not a replicable.
So, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. So it is hard. Teaching is not easy.
No.
It really isn't easy because when I think of what you just said, and I'm thinking I had similar experiences, I really did. And teaching, I think you'd be like in the world of teaching, you'd be an amazing teacher. This as well. I
It's
don't know
nice
if
of you to
you've
say.
ever have you ever taught before? I'm
Not
just
really.
no.
I've mentored more than taught.
Okay.
I've taught a little bit more into cutting. I think the teeny bit of teaching I've done I,
Okay.
has made me feel like I'm better at teaching it the more I do it, obviously, because you
Yes.
start
Yeah.
to remember the systems and what are the rules, and did I just tell them to skip something, and oh wait, you can't jump to that stage.
But but what would make you a good teacher, also, I'm sure you're an amazing mentor, is the story you just said that the person skipped some steps. So, what that would make that happen to you when you started training. So,
Hmm.
what that would make you so deliberate as so making sure yourself that you would teach the person or mentor the person
Yeah,
every little bit of step along the way
yeah,
because of an experience that happened to you.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
perfect.
It's true. Yeah, yeah, and several of the people because I was the salon assistant, so there was a name on my apprenticeship form of the person I was theoretically apprenticing under.
Right.
I'm just trying to remember. It wasn't my primary mentor, but I have a feeling you'd actually know
I'm
Diego Reviglione. Yeah,
Diego. Oh my gosh.
yes,
Diego used to work at Bellis Academy in San Diego. Then
yeah,
oh my God,
yes.
Diego. Yes, yes, yes.
So he was up in Vancouver at a salon called Stratosphere that I started at years
Right.
and years ago, and his name was the one on the form. He wasn't necessarily the primary person. I found him a fantastic teacher,
Oh, he's
A
brilliant.
fantastic teacher. I
Brilliant.
also apprenticed underneath someone named Anthony Crossfield, who was
Oh my
another.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
So that was so I essentially lived with Anthony for years, and then I went to his salon after there. I had
Oh, I
forgotten
love
about that name.
Anthony. Love
Um,
Anthony.
Another truly gifted, but
Yeah.
definitely with Anthony, I would have to. I wish I could go back and tell myself to speak up more. I wanted to move on when I wouldn't understand something. I didn't like feeling stupid, so I'd try and make it seem like I understood. And I wish I'd taken more knowledge from him at the beginning. I wish I understood how to say, no, actually, I don't know what you're saying. I was so concerned
Oh,
about appearing. So, yeah, I mean, I hope students speak up for themselves
yes,
and make
speak
sure they're
up,
learning.
really,
Yeah.
because you're doing an injustice to yourself.
Yeah.
Because, and yes, it can be embarrassing to say, I don't really understand what you're saying, or I don't really understand this, but it's the best thing you can do. I think
Yeah.
just that, don't be afraid to be humble. Like,
Yeah.
it's the best thing for you because
Anthony
you're,
helped me with the customer service side of things. That's what he helped me with, how to treat
ah,
people, keep them facing the mirror. You can steal everyone's clients if you give a better scalp massage at the shampoo basin. And and Diego was just like the epitome of charming. How to be the most charming person in the room. Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
I
wow.
love it.
You've just mentioned two names that, wow, yes. Great
Right.
people. Great people.
Anthony had me competing at an early age.
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sure.
was I wasn't good at it, but he had me competing. It certainly made me learn fast, that's for sure. It's not for everyone, competitions.
No.
I love that you spoke about it taking 15 years for you. I think social media has had a tendency to make it seem like in 2 to 5 years you should already be the best in your field or the best in your specific craft. Whereas I felt the same. 5 years, I just started to figure out that I didn't know anything. At 10 years, I got a little comfortable with one thing. And at 15 years, I started to be able to learn better and more effectively. I love that that's your story too.
Yeah, because without, it's the same thing as getting clients into the salon. Back years ago, you would just have to hand out a business card as
Hmm.
much as you can.
Hmm.
Now you've got social media. It's so much easier, so much easier. So I think it did us both well that we learnt the hard way,
Yeah.
because it's a lot easier now. The only thing now is there are so many people doing so much stuff that the volume is much bigger.
Yes.
The other thing is as well, what's changed the industry is the suites, the salon suites, where
Yep.
you have a salon and there's one person
Yep.
in the suite. I'm glad they weren't around when I was around, because when I first started, because I had to be in a big salon with
Yep.
lots of hairdressers making a lot of noise, and I love to learn from everybody. Put
Yeah.
me in a suite on my own. I'm a chatter. I have to run by an idea with someone, and a suite for me would kill me. I'm
Yeah.
just not cut out for it. I really aren't. I'm
I
not.
completely. I also think I would have chosen it too early on, just due to some of the negative sides about being in big salons and the stuff that I
Yes.
struggled with. I think I probably would have seen it as an easy route, and
Yes.
really it might have been somewhere I went to die slowly.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I totally agree. And I'm an artistic director for Intercoiffure. And Intercoiffure is salons that are on the larger side, bigger
Hmm.
salons. It's not for suites. It's an organization that supports the salon business. And I just love it. I've been an Intercoiffure member forever. And I'm like, I have to pinch myself to think I'm the artistic director. And I was so proud when they asked me. And with the support of Wella, it's just been it started last year and it's a 3-year term. So I'm really enjoying that at the moment. And that gives me access to people that are in that salon frame, all working together, team building, all of the things that a team salon brings. But yeah, I think I hear you. If you'd have had the salon suite at the beginning, it is an easy way out to a
Yes.
degree, and
You
not,
kind of. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and not as well.
It could be less like emotionally painful at times. I'm not sure. I think a very specific personality type is
Yep,
effective with that, and
yep,
most people should try and learn by osmosis and be around as many people as possible and
yep,
learn as many techniques as possible. I mean, I found it very helpful. I don't know about you, to hear competing ideas, to hear one person say, no, no, you do it this way, and show you. And then next week, another person said, no, you don't do it that way, you do it
yeah,
this way, and show me. And then sort of, okay, now I have to figure out for myself which one's right for me. Not necessarily which one's right, but what's right for me.
yep.
And if you're by yourself, there's none of that.
No, none of it at all. None of it. And when I think about everything I do, I always like to double check it or run it by someone. Even when I do a show, even though I'm creating the show, if I have a team of people helping me on the show, especially if it's a big show, I always like to run it by them. What do you think? Because sometimes you might be off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being able to find people that will tell you the truth, because what I used to find a little bit as I built my career up and I became like Sonya Dove, Christopher and I, we separated and we finished the Doves, and it was Christopher Dove and Sonya Dove are two separate entities. Um, I would ask people things, and no one would ever want to tell me the truth. They say, "Oh no, that's a really good idea. It's perfect." But I don't really want that.
That's not helpful.
I want to hear, no, I don't think that's a good idea. So I had to get past that stage with people, and now I've got people that will help me with that, which is great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Did you find, so 3 years at the creative director role, you said?
Yes, yes, and I'm on year number 2.
I know it's the creative side of things, but it still seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it's a management role. I don't mean it in a negative way, but in that there's more people working under you. Again, I don't mean that in a like
Oh no, that's
that they're
okay.
minions, but like you've got more people. Did you find the transition to having more people working under you different? Because sometimes moving into, I mean, I'm sure you've been doing management type stuff forever, but it's not just creative. It's being creative and educating and making sure those people are able to manage and educate the people below them. Did you find there was a bit of a learning curve stepping into
Oh
that role?
yes. Oh yes. You mean the Intercoiffure role?
Yes.
Yes. So, artistic director means two things. I do 2 presentations a year for all of the members, and I do a photo shoot
Right.
of a collection. So, all of that's pretty creative. But
Right.
then what you need to do is, I don't like to just do something and I think, oh, I'll just create a collection. I have to
Right.
understand who my audience is and do it for them. So you can't do really wacky avant-garde stuff. You want to do things that relate to people working in the salon. And yes, there are a lot of people, but I stick to my artistic role. But then we have Scott Buchanan as president, and we have got Gordon Miller as the general manager. So there's people that deal more with the management
Okay.
than I do.
That's
I
great.
just, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say, Liam, I got my cake and I'm eating it.
It makes me very happy to hear.
I know. Yeah, because everyone that knows me, whether it be Wella or Intercoiffure, and the other job I have is I'm on the Ulta Beauty Protein. So I work
Right.
for Ulta, which is a whole nother different sort of client. But I always they all know that I don't do management and business very well. So they don't let me take on too much of that, rather than me learning it. Because if I start to learn something that I'm absolutely awful at, it's a waste of my energy.
Yeah.
I can put my energy. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. And I doubt it's that you would be not good at it. I imagine it's just why take you from what you are absolutely spectacular at to go and do a thing you don't want to do in the first place. What's the benefit?
Yeah.
There's going to be somebody who actually enjoys that and
Yes.
should be for sure doing that role.
Yes, that's why I've owned 2 salons in my life, one in Los Angeles and one in England, and I will not make the same mistake a third time. I am horrible at running a salon. I treat all the staff as my friends. We all go out together and everything. So when it came to have a hardcore conversation, I just couldn't do it because they're like, it's like speaking with your best friend. It was horrible. Oh, no, no, not me. I'll work in a salon any day.
Yep. Yep. I'm with you. I'm with you. Um, is there a piece of information you see people teaching people in the industry that you think is either nonsense or that is just being taught too much and doesn't work? Like something people are being taught, especially today in digital, that's giving people the wrong impression about how to be successful in the hair industry.
That's an interesting question, Liam. Uh, you see, I don't see the bad in anything.
No.
So, because even if it's not good, there's something good from it. But I think in the industry, I think something that is happening is that things can happen too quickly.
Yeah.
I think there needs in life, if I just take it more in life, whether it be career or life, there needs to be a process that you have to go through, and it can be the good, the bad, and the ugly to get to an end result. I think things are happening very, very quickly at the moment. Especially, let's say this. There's one little area that I will say, and it's in the negative way, is let's say competitions or anything. So NAHA, North American Hairdresser of the Year, British Hairdressing Awards, whatever competitions they are, the Wella ones, they're all the different ones. AI, they, my partner is a photographer. Okay, so he's French and he's a photographer. And I am telling you, I have such an eye for photographs. Half of the stuff is all AI'd and they don't say it. And I think what would be really good, I don't like picking up my phone and seeing something and I know it's AI, and the person in the hashtags has not said it's AI. They've claimed it as real. I think everyone should own up to if they've done AI. An example, I've seen it at NAHA all the time. They take the eyes of one model, the lips of another, the forehead of another. They Photoshop the hair. Well, the Photoshop of the hair was done a lot anyway, but now it's all AI'd. I think there needs to be an AI segment so people can just go for it. So in the NAHAs, an AI segment and just make it as wild, as crazy as you want. But to claim that it's real and it's not a wig, it's not extensions, but it's their real hair. That's a part that I just am very passionate about.
It's interesting. So I know lots of teachers outside of the hair industry, and one of the things I see changing in elementary schools and high schools and different level of schools is far more in-class exams or in-class papers, like writing your paper in class, not writing it at home and then giving it in. And so I think with some of those awards, it would be great to see not the type of competition where we all have to watch you do it necessarily, like not that style of competition, but if it's going to be how does it look from a photography point of view, it should be all done in the same place. Everybody has to do it in the same place. Whatever, we'll come up with the money, we'll fly everyone there, and then that way it's live. And so we can sort of have some live footage, and here's what it looks like. You don't get access to the photo before it's presented. It's taken by the same person. It's posted immediately with flaws. I don't care. Put the flaws in. It's a person. There's no perfect person.
Yeah, that is a really good point, actually. Back in the day, competitions were live. The models
Yeah,
were standing live, but it's very difficult now to do that. But I just think the ownership of saying that it's AI, because a lot of
yeah,
people I see work out there, and like an example, I know a lot of models, and I saw one model that I use often, and I know full well her hair is not short, cropped, bleach blonde. I know it's
right.
not. It's long and black. I just know because I know her. And when you go to her Instagram, she's not ever had it cut short and blonde. And the person is saying the real hair, da 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 da. And so it's not the lying, but like we have to sort of say the truth, because if we don't, we're setting up a wrong example for the
Yes.
new hairdressers that think they can do that. Like an example, I'm just going to throw it out there, is Kim Kardashian when she went from jet black to white blonde.
Yes.
And okay,
Yes.
so all the clients are coming in wanting that done
Yeah.
in 3 hours for $200 because
Yeah.
of what's put out there. First of all, it's a wig.
Yes.
It's so we need to, like, it would be good if Chris Appleton would say, oh, this wig, I prepared it for hours, but
Yeah.
they don't. So that's
Look at her
probably
new
not,
hair. It's
yeah, look at her
disingenuous.
hair. Because what's happening now, all those hairdressers in the salon are getting the clients coming in asking for Kim Kardashian's white blonde with a black root.
Yeah.
It's you can't do that. You can't.
No. It like we've all seen the one person that one time that somehow did it. Like it existed once ever,
Yep.
total.
Yep.
And it should, I always tell people when they come in with that photo, definitely it'll be about 3 years, give or take. We'll
Yep.
get you there.
Yeah.
You come in every 6 to 8 weeks, and we'll get you there in the next 3 years or so. It's probably going to cost you, ten to $30,000 over the course of that period of time. This is what it's
100%.
going to take, and your hair is going to feel awful. You're,
Yeah. In fact, to add on a story to that is I was responsible for Sophie Turner turning her from Game of Thrones red to
yeah,
blonde.
that was
And
impressive.
but Sophie and Wella wanted me to do it in one go. I did the photo shoot in Berlin. It was launching one of Wella's bleaches, lighteners, and I had to say to the camera, to the film crew, to Sophie, to Wella, I can get you platinum. It will take me about a year and 4 months. Bella almost died on the set. Everyone was like, cut, cut.
Well,
And
I mean,
I said the truth. And Sophie wanted to keep her hair waist length. So I said, okay, all right, I can do it in one go. I'll need to cut your hair to here. And she looked at Wella and said, no way.
yeah,
So, and I did eventually get her there, but I did highlights, and then she turned to more of a strawberry blonde,
yep,
then a golden blonde, and then a warmer blonde, and so on and so on,
yeah.
like normal, like how you're saying.
Well,
But
like
it's
chemistry. I mean,
yes,
it's just
but
chemistry. You can't defeat it. It's
yeah,
I
100%.
don't.
So you just have to. So if the truth, more truthful things on social media,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that I think where we're going wrong. One thing as well that I think is hilarious is, and I say this on stage, these names for haircuts: butterfly, wolf cut, the octopus cut, the whatever, all these names. Basically, that is a long layered haircut.
You just renamed it. Even when the shag came back,
Yeah. Yep.
and then 18 months later somebody said I'd like this wolf cut. I'm like, well, that's the
It's
same haircut.
it's the
I'm
same.
sorry, it's the same haircut. It didn't change. Some other person called it something else. It's the same haircut. It's just a layered haircut where the layers at the top are shorter than you usually, and I have them in than longer layers. But yes, it's just a haircut. It's not new.
No, it's not new at all. But I don't think that's wrong. I think it's quite funny. I think
Oh, it's
it's hilarious.
hilarious.
It's
Oh, it
hilarious.
is.
Like the Italian bob, the French bob, old money bob, they're all exactly the same. They look like mine.
Yeah. It's either above, below, or at the chin. It's either A line, straight, or, like
Yeah.
it's
So things,
graduated or not.
yeah, so things are getting a bit gimmicky, but
Hmm.
tongue in cheek, funny. But the AI, when I see this work, oh, we've got to be careful of AI.
It reminds me a bit of sponsored posts. You remember how at a certain
Oh,
point people said you can't make it sound like you're honestly reviewing a thing if it's a paid advertisement. You need to put that it's a sponsored post or that you've done a partnership. You can do it. You just have to be honest about how you did it. It's fine. I don't care. Draw your picture, make it perfect. But you're ruining it for 95% of hairstylists out there that are going to have to try and
figure
make a
out.
person look more perfect than humans look.
Yeah.
Like it's not fair, especially if the whole point is to give people a picture that inspires them to get a haircut. No one can replicate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no. And the
yeah.
AI pictures now clients are bringing in. Oh my God, the color and everything. Yeah. So is
It's
it?
not even a real color sometimes.
No,
Like sometimes they'll bring it in and I'm like, that color doesn't that's not an existing color that
no.
can be on a human. I can draw it for you if you want. But that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be careful of this AI. It can be great and can be used for great things, but also can be negative. It's
Agreed.
borderline in our
Yeah.
industry.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just don't think. I mean, the purpose of our industry at the end of the day is to have a guest sit in your chair, make them feel good for a couple of hours, and give them a look that they wanted.
Yep.
And I don't see AI assisting with that.
No, not at all. Now, it can assist in stock inventory,
Sure.
data stuff,
Yep.
maybe businessy stuff, but in the world of a skill, AI, no, no.
No. No, it can only do a disservice to me at that level. It can do a service in other places, but at that level, it's not. It's not helping. Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
Agreed. Agreed on that one. Well, I'm cognizant of time, but what I would like to ask you is what are you working on right now and what's next?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I've
Of
um,
things that you can say, obviously.
oh
I'm
yes,
not saying like release, tell me about a collection that doesn't exist or anything, just
yes,
anything in your life, in
yes.
hair.
So I'm working on my photo shoot that's going to be doing for Intercoiffure.
Hmm.
So I'm liaisoning with a photographer and the people at Wella. So we're on a three-way call of getting that organised. So I got to come up with the concept, the looks, the models, everything from zero, from a blank page. So I'm
Wow.
working on that. We have a show in the spring for Intercoiffure. I haven't started working on that yet, but I need to soon. And then Wella, I go to Wella in January in Los Angeles, and we're having our training on all of the new things that Wella has for the year. So that's in 2 weeks' time. So I'm going to get to learn about what's new, and then I can weave that into what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And with Ulta, I'm doing the Orlando hair show, premiere hair show in
Oh,
June for
nice.
Ulta. I'm doing the IBS show in Las Vegas for Ulta. And I've got shows and I've got some photo shoots coming up with Ulta because I'm part of the pro team. And what that is,
Hmm.
it's 5 people that represent different brands, me, Wella, someone from Redken, someone from Kenra, someone from Matrix, and so on. And we meet together and we do shows and education. So working on that. But then the other thing I'm working on that is nothing to do with hair, and it just happened last night, so I'm going to throw it in here, and it's nothing to do with hair. Since I've moved to Mexico, I've been here 5 years, I've taken up a hobby that I've always wanted to do before I die. And I've started going to dance classes. So I do cumbia,
Amazing.
bachata, and salsa classes. Last night, the teacher in the class asked a group of us to put on a show. So we're going to be putting on a show in a big place here in the city.
Wow.
And so I'm going to start training as of tomorrow for
Oh my
that.
gosh. Just to add one more thing onto the list with all your free time that you have.
Remember I said I'm a workaholic?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
I know you're comfortable on stage, but that's such a totally different thing.
Dancing
That's
and
amazing.
Liam as well, if I may say. I'm 64 this year, 63
Hmm.
at the moment, and the other people in the group in their mid 20s to mid 30s. And I said, "Are you sure you want me to do it? Are you sure?" He said, "Oh no,
Yes.
you're really good. You've got the moves." So I first I said no to him. And then I went home and I thought about it. What am I frightened of? And I
Hmm.
made the list of things. And they're all things that my brain was telling me, not my heart, my brain. So I
Yeah.
called him up this morning and said, "Yes, I'm going to accept. I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do
Congratulations
a
on
dance
that.
show."
That's so exciting. That's amazing. I love it. Wow. Wow. Well, I mean, you are a performer.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that
I
ironic?
mean, you are a performer. That makes sense to me. I mean, I get that. Not everybody is. And it's a skill that you hone over years. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So I'm proud of
Congrats.
myself. I'm doing something that's not just hair, because all I've done all my life is hair. So this
Yeah.
is the first thing. And look what came from it, going to classes 3 times a week over 5, 6 years. And here I am. I'm
I
going to be doing
love
a
it.
little dance
I
show.
love it. I can't wait. I'm going to, when do you know around when you're doing that? Give or take?
February 15th,
Okay, I'm gonna
Sunday,
try and I'm gonna make a note to send you an email late February
how it
to see
went.
how that went. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited to hear about it. That's so great.
I know.
Oh, that's
Why
nice.
not? Why not?
Well, I really appreciate you making the time to do this, both an hour before and at this time. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I'd love to do it again.
Yes.
And yeah, is
And you're
where can people find you?
My Instagram is the Sonya Dove. So
Yep,
TheSonyadove. I've also got a website, sonyadove.com, and I'm on
beautiful.
Facebook. I've got all the platforms. I'm not on TikTok
You'll be fine.
or yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not
It's
very good
fine.
at that. And
You don't have
also,
to.
TikTok doesn't. It's more for. I think it's more for young people personally.
Yeah,
Maybe
and I think lots of hairdressers are on it.
there
It's
are.
not where our industry's spending time presenting. Like there's still people doing videos on it, but I found it ends up being the place hairdressers go to waste time, but not really the it's like unlike Instagram that absolutely became the
Yeah,
platform amongst hairdressers. Yeah, I just don't think TikTok is that. I think it's where you
it's
go
not.
to watch weird videos,
Yeah,
not where
yeah.
you go to promote yourself or deal with your peers.
Yeah, I
I could
agree.
be
I
completely
agree.
wrong.
I agree. And you
Yeah.
are a delight to talk to, Liam.
Oh, that's
You
nice
really
of you to
are.
say right back at you.
Thank
Okay. Well, thank you so much for
you.
doing this, and hopefully we can touch base before or after the next show that you do. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you. Bye.